Hello, I'm James. As Australia faces a slowing of the current boom in resources terms of trade, especially in light of the emissions agreement between China and US at the recent G20 summit in Brisbane, there's now been much more casting around for alternative sources of economic growth potential. One alternative is the creative economy, so art, fashion, music. The creative industries have seemed to become increasingly important to the economic well-being, proponents suggesting that human creativity is the ultimate economic resource. A recent report flagged the urgent need to find new development pathways to encourage creativity and innovation in the pursuit of inclusive, equitable and sustainable growth and development, and have identified culture as the new driver of this development. The project is a Newcastle appropriation of what it is to have a creative economy. Newcastle has been an increasingly creative urge within its populace, which sits in opposition to Newcastle and the Hunters' extraction and exploitation of coal. We historically identify as a mining town, but increasingly shifting towards more creative industries for economic support and export and support. As both as an architectural and ideology endeavour, this project takes precedence from traditional notions of extraction. For profit, our role in the Asia Pacific as extractors of natural resources, and looks into extraction of artistic endeavour. The project is dedicated to the capitalistic realisation for the maximum return for Newcastle's creative talent. It is called the Auction House. The project utilises Civic Park and neighbouring streets as a site. As a master plan, the project links the existing art gallery site through to Wheeler Place and helps thread together an assemblage of civic buildings present along the perimeter of Civic Park. The line of the City Administration Building and City Hall form an assemblage of government and bureaucratic buildings, housing local government and bureaucratic departments. A line drawn from the existing art gallery creates an intersection between the bureaucratic and cultural axes of Newcastle. Through architectural interventions, the project acts as an instrument to bridge the division between the southern cultural edge and the government bureaucratic northern edge of the park. The project functions to create a dialogue that highlights issues of foreign ownership, government and cultural and artistic policy, and Newcastle's dynamic and often dubious ethics of extraction and exploitation.
Just a little subliminal there.
The Newcastle Art Gallery is pivotal to this project. It currently contains and will continue to contain irreplaceable examples of both Indigenous and white settler art and artefacts. The gallery will continue to operate in a traditional sense, where each quarter, as part of the program for this proposal, 4 local artists will be selected to exhibit their bodies of work to international art buyers who have been invited here for reviewing by the Newcastle City Council. The gallery space also provides an entrance to a series of spaces that prepare the artists for a sale. The journey of the artists leads them through a series of subterranean spaces that mine underneath Civic Park, creating multiple stopping points along the way for the artists to stop and pause in. The project also proposes a new 4-storey building that sits between the City Administration Building and City Hall buildings on the northern edge of Civic Park. The project is used exclusively by foreign art collectors and investors. The first space that the artists will encounter after their departure from the gallery is the reception void. The reception void is a space where previous artists who have gone through this journey leave artworks behind. The artists who are also taking part in this leave their artefacts and art behind. This separates them from previously what they've used their artefacts and art to actually represent themselves and showcase themselves, and they pass through themselves. So once they've been led through a door by an awaiting usher, they go on a journey solo. The journey that the artist takes precedence from Rem Koolhaas's Downtown Athletic Club. Much like the Downtown Athletic Club, the spaces are designed for preparation and transformative effect on the artist, which leads to an altered state of body and mind. The second space the artist encounters is the combing room. The artists are provided with individual sleep and grooming quarters called the combing room. The room allows the artist to sleep after the opening night at the gallery. These spaces that make up this part of the journey are characterised by 2 large copper light wells, which allow the space to be naturally lit. The artist falls asleep with the night sky illuminated above them, and in the morning, eastern light floods the spaces. The artist can use grooming facilities in the space. Here they can shower and dress themselves in attire to present themselves for the remainder of the journey. The space also strips the artist bare. Here the artist is exhibited nude while showering, referencing the objectification of the human body throughout art history as a commodification device. The next space that they move through to is the mead hall. Once they've been groomed and changed into their clothes, they make their way to the mead hall. A large light captures the midday sun and floods the room, illuminating a stone table, as well as allowing those seated at the table to view the trees of Civic Park above. And because this operates on the quarterly, you'll be able to see the different seasons through there, so through the trees above.
What's that hall called again?
The mead room.
M-E-A-D.
AD.
Oh, like the wine
Having
there.
a drinking.
Yeah. So this space allows for several close family members to come in and enjoy a meal with the artist. When the artist arrives, the awaiting family and friends, he or she is framed by the doorway in which they enter. The artist arrives on a podium that introduces their awareness of the newfound elevated status that they have achieved by undertaking this journey. The artist departs this space and continues their journey by descending down a 15-metre shaft. The next space is called the locker room. This space takes precedence from the locker rooms that is used to prepare sports people before they take the arena at an event. The spatial characteristics of this space differ from the previous spaces they inhabited due to the lack of natural light and the decrease in volume of the space. This is heightened due to the 4 individual journeys rejoining, thus bringing the 4 participating artists to one space. Circular in plan, the space provides no corners for the artist to retreat to. Instead, 4 large seating areas are recessed into a thick wall. Here they can actually survey and examine the other artists who have been taking part of the journey while they wait for the auction to commence. This is the final space at which the artist stops before they formally intersect with the journey of the buyer. Meanwhile, the buyer's journey, with some exceptions, consists of accommodation in the exclusive hotel suite built specifically for the event. This hotel comprises of a total of 4 floors, 4 suites situated over 4 floors. The floor plan places rooms in the centre of the plan with east and west corridors providing circulation between multiple sitting rooms, bathing facilities, personal chef facilities, with a sitting room framing the working harbour and a bedroom with views over Civic Park and the art gallery bookending the floor plan. The structure is technically resolved through the use of illuminated onyx walls that lights the corridors. Through the design of large wings that fly open when guests are actually in the hotel, the building glows from the inside out, creating a signifier to the wider city of the impending auction. When the hotel is vacant, it shuts down to become a perfectly flush stainless steel box. From the street level, passers-by only see silhouettes of the guests inside, creating an anonymity for the buyers. The imposing nature of the hotel rivals the dominant nature of the city administration building and city hall, adding to the assemblage of buildings along the King Street edge of the park. Structure provides cover to the public amphitheatre below, and the external cladding of bead-blasted 316 stainless steel is more reflective on the underside of the building to reflect back activities taking place in the amphitheatre. Before reaching the auction house, the artist must ascend a large set of stairs to reach the auction house. The ascending is contrasted to the conditions of the locker room due to the framing of the sky and natural light at the top of the stairs. As the artist climbs the stairs, the noise of the auction grows louder and the screams of the crowds and the voice of the auctioneers become more apparent. Upon climbing the stairs, the artist enters an open amphitheatre that is the auction house. This is the point that the 2 journeys of the buyer and the artist intersect. The existing surface of Wheeler Place tapers down. This is where the public gathers to watch the auction. Directly underneath that space is the suites that the buyers occupy to take part in the auction, and a platform where the artist stands to be auctioned off.
The artist is auctioned off.
Taking inspiration from John Pawson's cake shop facade, the artist is framed by a viewing opening in the buyer's suite. The buyer's individual suite frames the artist in such a way they are framed as a commodity. One by one, the 4 artists are auctioned off. The mechanics of the auction closely follows that of the tuna auctions in Tokyo. where the asking price starts high and decreases. The first of the 4 buyers to bid wins the auction. The public nature of the auction creates a spectacle that highlights the culmination of the journey of the artist taken from being an individual in the art gallery to a commodified item with an attached value in the auction house.
And I started bidding here at $40 million. 41, 42, 43 already, 43 million. 44 is bid, 45 in the room, 46, 47 in the room, with 48. 60 million.
61.
61. I have all the time in the world. So,
Once the artist is auctioned off, they're extracted back up to the hotel suites where they leave with a successful buyer who is not revealed to the public at any point during this process. The public amphitheatre reverts back to being a public gathering space when the auctions are not taking part. This process of extracting and exporting our cultural and artistic capital continues in the next quarter, where another 4 young artists will undertake the journey from the art gallery, and the hotel will once again unfurl itself to accommodate foreign investors keen to eye our sought after commodity.
Okay.